Okay, so we now come to two other different type of sums. Let's look at the first sum. It says a sum of rupees 1750 is divided into two parts such that the interest on the first part at 8% simple interest per annum and that on the other part at interest 6% simple interest per annum are equal. So, the total amount 1750 is divided into two parts, not necessarily equal parts, and then the first part at 8% simple interest is equal to the first part, the second part invested at 6% simple interest. They are equal. So, the first part when invested at 8% per annum and the second part when invested at 6% per annum for the same time period, then they are equal. What is the interest accumulated in each part? That is what we are asked for. What is that interest which is accumulated, which is equal? Okay. So, what is missing here? The time period is missing. Okay. But the time period will be the same for both the parts, the first part as well as the second part. So, let us assume let T be the time period of investment for the two parts. Okay. Again, let rupees X be the first part of the money and rupees 1750 minus X will be the second part. So, let me explain how. Total amount of money is 1750 rupees. So, if I say that I am dividing it into two parts, if the first part becomes 10 rupees, obviously the next part will be 1740 rupees. How do I get it? By subtracting 10. In this case, we have taken the first part to be X. So, automatically the second part will become 1750 minus X. These are the two amounts of the rupees by which 1750 is divided. Okay. Now, the next information says that the first part at 8% simple interest is exactly equal to the second part at 6% simple interest. So, we can form an equation. We have taken the time period to be T. So, let us form the equation. We will say according to the question. So, according to the question, what is given? It is given that P is our X into R is our 8 into time is our T divided by 100. So, this is the simple interest on the first part at 8%. That is exactly equal to 1750 minus X. This is the principal, the second amount, okay, at 6% per annum, given 6% per annum for the same time period T divided by 100. Okay. So, here suppose if I do cross multiplication, then I will get X into 8 will remain here and I am just shifting. So, I am shifting 100. If I cross multiply, it will come to the numerator and then T will come to the denominator. So, here I am going to get into T. So, 100 and 100 can be cancelled, T and T can be cancelled. What will be left with us is 8x on the left and then on the right hand side we will have 1750 into 6 minus 6 into x, or we can say 6x. Okay. So, now suppose if I divide all the terms by say 2 to reduce it, we can divide, it is a common factor. So, 2 and 8 will get cancelled, we will get a 4. So, it is 4x. Here we are going to get 1750 into 6 divided by 2 can be cancelled, we will get a 3, minus 6x divided by 2 can be cancelled, we will get a 3 here. So, ultimately 4x is equal to, let us multiply 1750 into 3, we are going to get 0, 15, 22.5. So 5250 minus 3x. That is our equation. Yeah. So 4x is equal to 5250, 5250 minus 3x. If this 3x is transposed to the left hand side, then we are going to get 7x is equal to 5250. Therefore, x will be equal to 5250 upon 7. So, let us find out what is that. 5250 upon 7. So, it is going to give you, let us do it here, we will erase it later on. So, 5250 upon 7. So, 7 sevens are 49. We will get 3, 5, 7 fives are is 35, and so the 0 can be here. So, we are going to get 750 rupees. So, that is 750. So, the question is what is the interest accumulated on each part, but for that we need to find out what are the two parts. Okay. So, this is the value of x, correct? X is 750, which is our first part. Now, in order to calculate what is the interest accumulated, I can put the value of x. Okay. I can put the value of x in any of, in this particular equation, and then find out what will be the interest. But then we need to find out the time period also. Okay, one sec. So we are going to get the first part is rupees 750, and the second part is rupees 1750 minus 750, which will give you rupees 1000. So, this is the split. Okay, the first part is 750 and the next part is 1750. Now, suppose if we are given the time period, in this case the time period is not given, but if we are given the time period that for what number of years the investment has been made, then we can actually calculate the interest also. If we know the t, we will put the value of t as well as 750 and we can do the calculation. Either from this part or from this part, the value will be the same, as because both the interests are given same. So, if we are given the time period, we can actually put the time period. Is it for, like, say for example, for 1 year, the interest will be, so if it is 1 year, the interest will be 750 into 8 into 1 divided by 100, and we can do the calculation. For 2 years, the interest will be again 750 into 8 into 2 divided by 100. So, that is the way we can calculate the interest if the time period is given to us. Whether we put on the left hand side or we apply the values on the right hand side, the answer to the simple interest will always be the same, as because it is given in the question that the simple interest at 8% and 6% are the same. So, this is how we can form the equation and we can actually calculate. It is a sum where you are said that a given money is split into two parts, and then the interest at 6% for one part is equal to the interest at 8% for the other. So, we have to find out what are the two different parts into which 1750 is divided, and we got an answer that first part is 750 and the other part will be 1000 rupees. Let us see another type of sum. Okay. So, if you read this sum, which is given in the next page of the board, one sec. So, read the sum, you will be able to find out. It says that a person has deposited some amount of money. So, here the amount of money deposited is not given to us. So, that means the principal is not given to us. It says only a person deposited some amount of money in the bank at simple interest. After 15 years, the amount have increased by 7 times, And then the next question is, in how many years will the amount will increase to 10 times? That is what is asked. If the rate of interest remains the same, here the principal is not given to us, even the rate of interest is not given to us. It is only said that an amount of money, some amount of money is invested in a bank, and after 15 years that amount have become 7 times. We are asked to find out that after how many years will that particular amount become 10 times. So let us assume, let rupees P be the amount invested, or rather it will be deposited in the bank. So let rupees P be the amount deposited in the bank. Okay. So after 15 years, so simple interest after 15 years will be how much? It will be P into R, because we don't know the rate of interest, so it will be R into 15 divided by 100. Okay. P into R into 15 divided by 100, where R is the rate of interest. Okay. R is the rate of interest. Now, according to the question, what does the question say? In 15 years, the sum is going to become how many times? 7 times. After 15 years, the amount becomes 7 times. So, if the previous amount was P, after 15 years, the amount will become 15P. So, according to the question, sorry, not 15P, 7P. According to the question, 7P is equal to P plus, the other one is PR, 15 PR divided by 100. Yes or no? See, the amounts formula is, since the amounts formula is equal to principal plus simple interest. So, here P is the principal, amount will be 7 times, so it will be 7P. SI we have calculated, it is P into R into 15 divided by 100. So, our equation becomes 7P is equal to P plus 15 PR divided by 100. Now, if we transpose P to the left hand side, so we will get 7P minus P is equal to 15 into P into R divided by 100. Okay. So, this will give you 6P into 50 is equal to 15 into P into R by 100. We can shift cross multiply rather.